and welcome. This is Lorelei again. Welcome to Namasturm Yoga and our Monday evening live stream practice. So I'm here in my home yoga studio, got my mat unrolled. You go ahead and do the same, unroll your mat. Let's start our practice today at an easy seated position. So cross your legs, wipe the dirt off your feet if you need to first. Cross your legs, bring your hands to your knees, stack your shoulders over your hips. And let's just come to a little bit of stillness here just to start off our practice. Just a reminder, this live stream practice is, let's just say, donations are welcome. If you would like to contribute to support the class, the way to do that is in the description for this video. It's through PayPal or Venmo. My Venmo username is Namasturm, the same as my channel name. So you can do that if you like, $1 or $2, whatever you got. It's no big deal. If you can't, that's also fine. But just want to put it out there. I used to teach on Monday evenings via Zoom, but I wasn't able to reach very many people that way. So I thought, hey, let's open it up. Let's allow this video to stay up on YouTube. And then if people want to donate, they can. But, generally I don't make any money on these classes. So give me a shout out below if you are enjoying this practice, whether you're practicing with me live or practicing at another time. And with all of that said, let's come back to stillness, and I will be quiet for a moment so we can kind of just focus, check in with ourselves, notice our breath, and maybe choose an intention for the practice today. Staying seated, let's just take a gentle twist to the right. So take your left hand to your right knee, turning over that shoulder. And then let's switch up the direction. Right hand to left knee, turn over your left shoulder. Nice and easy here. And then come back to center. Let's move to tabletop. So coming to hands and knees, set up the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees. And really simple, really basic, some cat-cow stretches to warm up your spine. In addition to warming up the spine, of course, this is always also an opportunity to build that breath movement connection. Also, this should feel good. That's always my hope. Cat and cow is something that I'll often do like in the mornings after getting up, or if I need a little break between clients at work or at the end of my workday, just to kind of move my spine in a gentle but, meaningful way after having been maybe stiff or still for a long period of time. So hopefully this can just feel good to you too. All right, and then let's go ahead and come back to center. Take the right arm out and the left leg out. Extend them forward and back, respectively. And then exhale, curl in, elbow, nose, knee, round the back. Inhale, reach out, follow your breath here. Exhale, tuck in. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, tuck in. And then this next time you extend, either hold lengthening, stabilizing through the core, or if you want to, bend your top knee, reach behind you for the foot with the hand, and then pull up and away. Give yourself a good stretch here. Stretch like a bow. And then let that go, and we're going to replace hand and knee on the floor, switching to the other side. Lengthening out, left arm, right leg, so opposite sides. Exhale, tuck in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. Once more. And this next time as you reach out, you could just hold, balancing, or bend the right knee, find the foot with the left hand, pull up and away. This does still require a little bit of balance here. Sometimes the tension of the stretch will help the balance, but you have to balance the tension, right, so it doesn't pull you too far to one side. All right, let's let that go. And now walk the hands a little bit forward, tuck the toes, lift the knees and hips, and let's make our way to downward facing dog. First one of the day, potentially, unless you had some other yoga you were doing today, which would be wonderful too. Pedal out the feet, warm up this pose any way that feels good to you at this time. Rooting down with the hands. I always like to remind that the hands really are the foundation of this pose because those are stuck to the mat. We're not moving them, they're not adjusting. The feet, yeah, they're on the ground for balance, but we can be on our toes. We don't have to have the heels down. The knees can stay bent the whole time because the upper body is more maybe where we're working, at least initially. So as you root down with the hands, you're kind of pushing forward to help the hips lift up and away. It's like you're pushing your hips up into the air using your hands. And then adjust your feet, let them level out, and let's just come forward to plank, shoulders over wrists. I know this means we're on our wrists for a little while in a row, but do your best. Maybe walk the feet a little further back if you need to, level out, center of the body. And then let's lower to the mat. So you can go through chaturanga if you want, or bring those knees down first. Bend the elbows to bring your chest down. And let's take Sphinx. Let's just start out small. So forearms are on the ground with the elbows under the shoulders. Heart up, just a little lift here. And then crossing the left arm over the side. Let's reach the right hand back and grab the right foot. So we kind of, before we're pulling away when we were on our knee earlier, now we're going to pull in, so doing more of a quad stretch. Heel to hip. You might think of pointing your right knee slightly behind you. And it already is doing that, but like kind of like lengthening it. Okay, and let's just switch sides. So right forearm comes down, left knee bends, push down with the right forearm, reach back with the left hand, draw the heel in towards the hip. Now, hopefully we're feeling a little more ready to go into a slightly deeper back bend by moving to Cobra pose. These are in the same vein, but Cobra we can come up a little higher because we're using our whole arm, not our forearm. Do still keep a little softness in the elbows. Let the shoulders roll down away from the ears rather than hunching up. And then from here, after a breath or two, let's move to downward facing dog. So tuck the toes, lift the knees and hips, come back to good old down dog. From down dog, let's take the right leg into the air. Square hip down dog split. Keep the thigh facing the floor. Try to imagine your body as a diagonal, and you might not have to imagine, it might actually be happening, but if it's not, don't worry about it, and it might be hard to even see for yourself. But if you're a diagonal, hands, hips, heels, all in a line, and then look forward, and we're going to step forward with that right foot all the way to the top of the mat. Use your hand to help you if you need that today, and then come on up for a high lunge crescent pose. Nice and easy, nice and strong. Steady your gaze at a single point ahead of you. Lunge deep into the front knee, but straighten out the back leg so that the pose doesn't collapse. And then planting the left palm inside the right foot, take the right arm up. Keep your front knee stacked over that front ankle. Easy twist here. One shoulder on top of the other one. Maybe turn your head, look up to your thumb. Turning back to the floor, plank pose. Now, if you're lowering down all in one piece, tip forward onto the balls of the feet, bend the elbows, but try to keep them over the wrists so the shoulders move forward as you lower. And then either cobra or maybe up dog on the tops of the feet. And then roll over the toes to lift the hips for downward facing dog. Left leg, square hipped, down dog split. So by that I mean sometimes we are inclined to lift the right hip up. And sometimes we choose to do so, and sometimes we choose not to do so. So I think it's less important which one we do, and more important that we are being intentional about which one we're doing. So here, we're trying to keep the hips square, or at least that's my suggestion. If you choose to make another decision, that's always fine. But then the thigh continues to face the floor, the toes are flexed down. Oh, there's the siren. There's at least one or two every class. You know, I'm in a big city. Look forward, step forward with that left foot. And come on up for crescent pose, high lunge. Reach the arms, lunge into the front knee. And then the right hand's going to come down for the easy twist on the second side. Hands to the mat, again plank, and we'll take a vinyasa here. So take your time, again modify if you need to with knees down, or go through chaturanga, inhale cobra or up dog, and exhale downward facing dog. Let's just take a couple breaths to rest here. So if you're holding in down dog as a rest, the body is still, but because the breath is still flowing, there's just that little kind of subtle undulation that can happen from within. So I always try to think of lengthening when I inhale and deepening when I exhale. And then let's walk the feet forward, nice and easy. And we're going to come to dangling. So separate the feet about hip distance, soft knees, let the upper body hang. Maybe grab opposite elbows, loosen up the back of the neck by nodding and shaking the head a little. You can even sway the torso. We're going to go into some sun A's in a moment, so hopefully we're ready for that. Everything's feeling pretty warm, I hope. And then release your elbows, bend your knees a little more, and roll on all the way up to stand, shoulders back and down. On an inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, dive down to Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Here we're adding an R to Uttanasana. Exhale, step to plank and lower to chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. And we can hold in down dog. Kind of classic is 5 breaths, but if you want to keep it a little shorter, you can always just take 1 breath or, 3, somewhere in between. That's fine too. When you're ready to move on, you'll inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk, or lightly hop the feet forward. Take a half lift as you inhale. Fold deep Uttanasana as you exhale. Reverse swan dive as you inhale. And palms together in front of the heart. Let's take a few more rounds here. Follow the pace of your own breath. So don't feel like you have to go at my pace. Please just listen to your body, tune in here, and connect to your breath. Let's take like one more. And we'll meet in down dog. So take your time wherever you are in your flow. Carry on, but we'll join up when we get to down dog. Taking a few breaths in down dog if you get there a little early. Taking your time to make your way here if you're not here yet. All right, we're going to add on, so continue to do your best to stay with your breath. Let's take the right leg into the air, this time variation. So we're going to open the hip and bend the knee. And here now, a good example, the right hip can lift, and we want it to lift so that the low body feels like it's twisting open, and then the knee can bend here and the heel can drop to the hip. Oh, another siren. Sirens and cicadas, the soundscape of Chicago. All right, and then we're going to take the right knee to the chest. Bring the shoulders forward over the wrists and just hug your leg towards your body. Inhale, down dog split. Exhale, step that right foot forward. Lower the left knee down. This time, low lunge. Bring the upper body up, sink the hips forward, take the arms into the air. Now we're going to go towards a deeper twist here, so left elbow outside of the right leg, and then palms pressed to turn the heart, turn the chest. Okay, let's tuck the back toes and float the back knee off the ground. Nice and strong. So we're in our high lunge again, but we're deeply twisted here. And then from here, we're just going to try to take the weight to the right foot and step the left foot up to the top of the mat to join feet. Big toes touch, knees touch. Heels are slightly apart, but then the palms press and the chest rotates. And then from here, low body's already there, chair pose, Utkatasana. Weight on the heels, navel in, tail down. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha. And then make your way through Vinyasa back to down dog. Let's do our other side, like we should, like we do, like we wanna. Left leg up, open the hip and bend the knee and take a little time. Twist that low body. I love this one, it always feels like a nice stretch across the quad of that lifted leg. See if you can feel that. And then bringing your knee to your chest. Let the shoulders move forward over the wrists. You know, all this kind of work, this is strengthening. We can build muscle here. This is, body weight resistance work. Inhale, down dog split again. And then exhale, step that foot forward. We'll lower the right knee down. Extend the toes behind and bring the upper body up. When I first started yoga, I was like, hey, I'm pretty flexible. This should be fun and easy for me. And sort of it was. I don't know how much my flexibility advanced doing yoga, but I was surprised because we think of yoga as being about flexibility. I was surprised how much strength I got from doing it. Let's take that right elbow outside of the left leg, press the palms, turn the torso. Because a lot of the things we're doing, yes, sometimes we're stretching, but we're engaging our muscles. So we're helping to stabilize most of the time, whether it's our legs, or our core, sometimes our arms are supporting us more than they do in real life. Tuck those back toes under, float the back knee off the floor. Now that back leg, strong, that front leg working in a strong way. Okay, so keeping the twist, we're going to step the right foot up to join the left. Feet together, knees side by side, turn the torso. And then here, again, chair pose, Utkatasana, another strengthening. We want to be bending the knees enough so we actually feel our quads are working. Arms alongside the ears. Weight on the heels, and again, tuck the tail a little bit so we're not just sticking our butt right behind us. I mean, it is because we're in a zigzag, but we don't want to overdo it. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, and travel through vinyasa. Back to down dog. Breathe here. All right, let's keep it simple here. Inhale, take the right leg up, one breath. Exhale, step it to the top of the mat. We're gonna pivot the back heel down and hold in a warrior one. Come on up, square your hips forward, lunge deep as you root into the outer edge of the back foot. Let the arms come up. Gaze ahead steady. From here, let's go ahead and straighten the front leg. We're going to move to pyramid. I do recommend stepping the back foot in just a little closer so that it's easier to keep the hips squared as you fold. But the back heel stays down. Fingertips can come to the floor, or if they can't, if that's not actually a possibility, you could put like books or a block or something underneath your fingers. Fold your body towards your right leg. And then planting the palms, step your feet. They'll both have to step back a little bit to plank. Lower. Take your back bend and down dog. This is the vinyasa. If you want to skip the vinyasa portion, you can. If you like it, if it feels strong, if it keeps you warm, if it feels good, if you feel like you can maintain the proper alignment as you flow, stick with it. Take the left leg up. Inhale. Exhale, step it forward, right heel down, toes turned slightly out so that we can root into the outer edge of the back foot. You might notice if you tend to roll to your back arch, ideally we want to lift the back arch. We're on the outer edge of the foot. Sometimes that will happen if the toes are turned out too far. So the toes are turned out and back, but only as much as we need them to be to keep the back heel down. Warrior one. Did I forget that part? Yeah, we're in warrior one here. Now from warrior one, moving to pyramid. So we're going to straighten the front leg, step the back foot just a little closer, but we still want that back heel down as we fold over the front leg. Notice if this is where sometimes if we have a tendency to hyperextend in our legs, we might feel like we're pushing the kneecap back and locking. So take a teeny micro bend in the leg and instead lift the quad muscle if you can, folding over the leg. So it should, for all practical purposes, be straight. We don't want to bend it just to fold deeper, but we don't want it locked. And then plant the palms, step the feet back, and here's a vinyasa if you want to take it. Stay with the breath. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet. Half lift. Fold, Uttanasana. Bend the knees, Utkatasana. Straighten the legs, come to stand, maybe palms together in front of the heart, and then we're going to tip into warrior three on the right. So as you slowly lift the left leg behind you at the same rate, the chest comes down until we get to the point of level with the hips, and then both stop. You know, it's hard to see, I know, but you kind of want to feel that your head and heel are in line with each other and everything's parallel to the floor. Standing leg, building strength here. Might wobble a little bit. Try not to lock the knee, but also we don't want to intentionally bend the knee either. Now bend the knee, just what I said not to do, because we're going to step back long, warrior one, inhale, and then exhale, open warrior two. Adjust that back foot so that the back arch now lines up with the front heel, and the toes are turned open more in warrior two than they were in warrior one, because that's going to help support the hip alignment. Arms out, look over those front fingertips. We're getting all our warriors in this particular sequence, so now we're going to reverse the warrior. Stretch it up and back, but keep lunging forward with that front knee over the ankle. And cartwheel your hands to the mat. Vinyasa. All right, take a breath, just one or two to rest. And then when you're ready, inhale, look forward, exhale, step, walk, or hop. Half lift, fold, Uttanasana. Bend the knees for Utkatasana. Straighten the legs, come to stand, palms together in front of the heart. Now standing on the left foot, right leg starts to lift up behind in the same measure as the torso starts to fold. Do your best. I know that's really challenging. I mean, I know because I watch my students really struggle with it sometimes. Like the leg wants to stay low, or the torso wants to drop too low, or I don't know. It's just hard to level out with the floor. It's hard to feel that because there's a lot happening here. Do your best. Doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to know what you're working on and towards. Now, bending the front knee, step back long, warrior one on an inhale, and then exhale to warrior two. Front heel and back arch now align. Coming into the pose, and we'll hold for a few breaths. Reverse the warrior. And vinyasa. All right, take a breath or two. And look to the top of the mat, step, walk, or hop to the top of the mat. Half lift, fold, and let's take chair pose, Utkatasana. All right, we're gonna stand on the right foot and cross the left leg on top of the thigh. I'll show it from the front. Figure four shape, right? So we know this one, hopefully. And as you do this, the right knee is still bent, palms come together in front of the heart. We're still sinking the hips, so we're still in chair, but just on one leg now. It's kind of like we're sitting in a chair and our leg is crossed, you know how you do. Okay, and then we're gonna keep the palms together, but start to fold the chest towards the shins. So there's a stretch in here, but we're still balancing, still stabilizing on our standing leg. From here, we're gonna go to half moon on the right. So look at the ground, and like you just kind of want to put your right fingers down right under your shoulder, and then we're going to open everything up to the left. So straighten your standing leg, uncross the left leg, kick it back, reach the left arm into the air. Half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. Push through the lifted heel. Imagine that foot was against a wall. Now, when we step out of this pose, our body's open. We can bend the front knee and step right back to warrior two. Try to land softly here. Inhale, reverse. Now let's go into triangle. So straightening up the front leg, moving into Trikonasana. I sometimes wonder if I've ever taught like this exact same class before. You know, we just use the same poses so many times, but I always try to put them in a different order. But like sometimes I'm like, maybe I did this exact same order another time. Who knows? I don't remember, but it's possible. Inhale, come on up and stretch back. And then we're gonna take standing split. So fingertips to the floor, ahead of the toes. Let the left leg lift higher as you fold your body towards the right leg. Okay, so we're actually going to come out of standing split to a revolve triangle. So before you put your top leg down, bring your left fingers right inside the right foot. Try to keep the front leg straight as you lower the back toes down, drop to the back heel, and once your back heel's down, it's kind of like we're in pyramid. Lift the chest, take the right arm up, rotate. Okay. And then turn to the ground and make your way through vinyasa so you can step the feet back together and then lower. Take yourself to down dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet. Half lift. Fold Uttanasana. Bend the knees for Utkatasana. And then this time standing on the left, we're going to cross the right ankle onto the thigh. Bring palms together in front of the heart. Sink the hips, still in your chair shape. Good balance here. Fold your chest down towards your shin. Okay, now moving towards half moon. So left fingers are going to come down and then everything's just going to open and reach to the right. Yep, do your best with the transitions. The poses themselves, sometimes we get, like our bodies learn those. They memorize how to balance in them. But the transitions where we're like trying to balance through like infinite points from between one pose and the next, those can be more challenging, but also I think more rewarding. Now when you're ready, bend that front knee, step back long, landing in warrior two. Inhale, reverse, straighten the front leg. And we're going to exhale into triangle pose, Trikonasana. Such a familiar one. Long lines here in this pose. You don't want to collapse it. And then inhale, stretch back, moving to standing split as a transition before we do the revolve triangle. So fingertips to the floor, right leg is up in the air now. This is also a place where a block sometimes can really help. You'd put the block right inside your foot and then you can press your palm flat onto it. It is sometimes hard to press the palm flat without a block. So if you want to, just right fingertips inside of the left foot, let the back toes come down, let the back heel come down, and then take the left arm up and turn open. This can also be done with the hand outside the foot, fingers and toes still aligned, but it's a slightly deeper twist that way. Again, sometimes a block is helpful if you want to plant your hand flat. What I wouldn't recommend is getting your hand down and collapsing your torso to get it there. We still want to have length in the torso. All right, and then bringing hands back to the mat. Let's take a vinyasa. Breathe and rest in down dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet. Half lift. Fold Uttanasana. Bend the knees, Utkatasana. Straighten the legs, come to standing. I think we still got a few more standing poses, but I actually want to do a little handstand practice tonight. So let's take that now before we're completely wiped out. So if you're able to come to the wall, go ahead and find a wall space. If you're not, you can practice little kicks in the center of the room, which would look like this. Shoulders over wrists, locking out your elbows as much as you can, and then with one leg lifting, the other leg is just doing little hops. So this isn't really even kicking, it's hopping. Because we're not trying to get that bottom foot up, we're just practicing getting just a little bit of airborne. But if you do have the wall, then You can have your back, well, you're going to face the wall until you get your hands on the floor, and then the back is going to be to the wall as you come up into your handstand. And it's the same principle, right? So the elbows kind of lock out, push down, so you're lifting up out of your shoulders. One leg is the swing, that's the top leg. The bottom leg is the spring. And then you are actually trying to kick yourself to get to the wall, or maybe stop short of the wall, right? Give yourself a little space between your hands and the wall so that it's maybe possible your body could learn to stop short of the wall eventually one day. Or maybe today's your day, or maybe you've been doing that all along. Awesome. All right, let's just spend another maybe minute here practicing this inversion to whatever degree feels right to you. As always, please be safe, right? If we're in a class, sometimes there's someone there who can catch you, or if all else fails, call 911 if you fall on your head. I've never had that happen. I don't think that will happen. But I always want to know that there's that safety net, because we're virtual, because you were at home, and maybe somebody's with you, but maybe they're not. Like, there's no safety net there. You need to be your own safety net. Protect your body. Be safe. Be careful. Enough said. Let's handstand. Take your time here if you want to practice a little longer, but when you're done, when you're good, let's step out wide and set up for Prasarita Padottanasana. So a nice wide-legged forward fold, parallel the feet, hands to your waist, and let yourself fold down. Fingers to the floor between the toes, or the palms can come flat between the feet. Lift the quads, open the backs of the legs. Shift forward towards the balls of the feet, and then let the head hang down and really try to lengthen the spine here as you fold. Let's take a little twist here because I think it would feel delicious. Let's take the left hand to the outer right leg and the right arm up. Turn the torso. And then let's go the other way. Right hand's going to come to left leg, left arm up. Come back to center. Hands to waist to float yourself up to stand. And let's turn the right toes open. Turn the left toes in a little. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, lunge to warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. And then let's take good old extended side angle. Forearm to the thigh, top arm overhead alongside the ear. So you can stay in classic form, working this nice diagonal, or if you want to come to a half bind or a full bind, please feel free to build that in here, but trust your body. What is it asking for today? Do the practice that makes most sense to you. All right, so if you have a bind, I'm going to make a little suggestion. This is optional. But now, let go of the bind, but keeping the right shoulder under the right knee. Maybe plant the right palm outside. I know you probably can't see, but outside the foot. Left hand comes down. Now, pushing the shoulder into the calf. Shift forward, come off the back heel, shift forward. See if you can push that right leg out ahead of you. To some degree. I don't think you can see my foot, but foot off the floor. And then swing it around behind. Some of you might be able to take that arm balance there. I can't do it, but lower down, chaturanga. Take your back bend and down dog. There's a lot of yoga I can't do. There's a lot of yoga I can do. I tend to teach the things I can do and leave the things I can't do
to another instructor. But that doesn't mean that those things I can't do might not be available to you at some point in the practice. So I like to offer them, but just I'm not going to be doing it or giving you good instruction. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet. Half lift. Fold Uttanasana, and then reverse the swan dive. Come up nice and strong. Let's step out wide for our second Prasrita. So parallel the feet, and this time let's interlace the fingers behind the back, roll the shoulders back and down, and fold on into this pose. Head hangs. One of my favorite stretches. I love this one too. This one usually shows up in my morning after cat-cow at some point. All right, come on up, root down with the feet. Bring yourself up. Let's turn the left toes open and the right toes in slightly. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, lunge into warrior two. Inhale, reverse the warrior. And then extended side angle. So we're gonna mirror our first side, believe it or not. And we're gonna go ahead and move into the bind if you did on the first side. And if you didn't, stay here and you can skip that whole bit about like trying to extend the foot out later on. That's not for everyone, and that's okay. All right, so now, again, if you have the bind, it probably means you can get your shoulder under your knee. So then as you release your hands, that left hand is gonna come to the outer left foot, plant on the mat. The right hand is just gonna come down. And then shifting forward, back heel's gonna get light, push your shoulder into your front calf, lean into it, and then see if you can flick your left foot off the ground. Extending through the toes. Again, I don't think you can see me doing it. I'm doing this part. I can't do the arm balance where we like lean forward and take the back leg off the ground. But here you can now swing that left leg around for chaturanga, back bend, and down dog. It's not so much that I need you to see me doing it, but like sometimes when we see something, it's like, oh, I get what you mean. So it's hard to show sometimes with only one angle. Okay, look to the top of the mat, inhale, exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet forward. And we're gonna come to a squat here. So take the feet, turn the toes out, take them a little wide, knees wide as well. Press your palms together in front of the heart. So this is our Malasana. And you could, so we're gonna do just a bit of arm balance here. Woohoo! You could do crow from here, but I'm actually gonna talk through Titibhasana, which is another one that we can do. And this is connected to what we just did because you're gonna need to bring your shoulders under your knees for this one. So for Titibhasana, you wanna come to kind of like a wide-ish leg stance so that you can get both shoulders under the knees. So imagine yourself going into a bound extended side. So the knees are bent, and how would you do that? Here. We could do that on both sides. But now the idea is we're trying to get the shoulders under both knees at the same time. But it's the same action. You might have to adjust how far away your legs are. Now, you're gonna bend your knees a lot more so that the hips come to the ground like a squat again, but now your arms are underneath you. They're underneath your legs. You're probably still standing on your feet though. So this is where the challenge comes in. We try to get low enough that we can plant the palms on the ground, and then we have to adjust our center of gravity. So for me, I tip back a little so my feet get free, and then they can come off the floor. They could come together like a diamond, or you could take them out wide. It's a similar action to kind of what we did with just one leg earlier with the other leg behind us. Same idea, but here we balance on the hands. All right, and then when you're ready to let that one go, come back to the floor. Maybe sit bones come down, or you can get your feet down first, whatever makes the most sense. And then let's take boat pose. So hands behind the thighs, shoulders back, lift the chest, lift the shins, and find your balance here. All right, bring the feet to the floor, hands behind you, plug in your shoulders, reverse table. Chin in or head back as you lift your hips as high as your knees. Slowly lower those sit bones back down again. And let's come back to a second boat here. And then let's go ahead and come to our feet. So bring your feet to the ground. Use your hands as much as you need to. Coming back to a forward fold, let's take Padahastasana. So walking the hands under the feet until the toes meet the wrists. Wiggle the toes into the wrists. Give them a little massage. We did a handstand. We did some arm balancing. We did some vinyasas. So those wrists have had a bit of work today. I know sometimes people's wrists get really sore doing yoga, doing vinyasa yoga. Wrists will build stamina, but we don't want to put them in pain. We don't want that, overuse or trauma to our wrists. But giving them a little bit of a challenge can sometimes help them to grow stronger. You got to kind of use your own sense about whether or not you're pushing too hard or just the right amount. It's always a delicate balance. Go ahead and release the hands out from underneath the feet, and then let's just drop our knees to the floor for just a back bend here. Let's just take one today. So we're gonna hold this one a little longer. We'll be in camel pose. You can choose to have the feet extended, or you can keep your toes tucked. But I always recommend starting with the hands on the waist. Try to keep the hips over the knees. Chin can stay in or head can go back. If your hands are reaching for the heels, they find them, or if they don't, they come back to your back right away. So that the hands are always anchoring to help move the shoulders deeper into the back, which is what's pressing the chest up and forward, creating the back bend. Chin in or head back. See if you can take 2 more full deep breaths wherever you are. And then support your waist to come up nice and easy. Drop to your left hip, cross the right leg over for a seated twist. Use the left arm around or past the knee. Turn it over your right shoulder. And then untwist, retwist, right leg on the bottom, left leg over the top. Do it the other way. Okay. We're getting close to the end here. We've got some stretches. I want to come back to downward facing dog so we can set up a pigeon stretch. You could take a vinyasa if you want to. I'm not going to because we've done a lot of those and we've already released our wrists. So from down dog, then take the right leg up, open the hip and bend the knee, and then bring the knee forward behind the right wrist, shin across the mat. Use the left toes to walk the left leg back. So this is important. If we don't do this, what ends up happening is we're like sitting on our foot and like we're way forward of our leg, and we're not gonna get a good hip opener. But if we walk our leg back and get back, the hips move back, we're gonna get more into this hip area. So see if you can really set yourself up well. I know most of you know this, but I say this for, the 1 or 2 of you out there who might be like,
I keep doing pigeon and I'm not feeling it, or I feel like I'm doing it wrong. And if you're by yourself, sometimes there's no one there to observe for you. So I sometimes just try to throw things out that I know most of you know, but just in case there's one person who's like, oh my gosh, wow, I'm here for you. All right, let's fold down. Breathe. Two more full deep breaths here. And then start to come up, walk yourself up. We want to move up so we're like shoulders over hips here. And then you can stay here. This is already a stretch, but if you're able to, bend the left knee, reach back with the left hand and move the heel towards the hip to get a quad stretch. So that's one side of it, right? The leg, the heel to the hip. The other side of it is moving the upper body up. So you can still keep that right hand on the ground, but some of you might be able to bring the right hand to the thigh, push your right shoulder back a little more. Some of you might be working towards finding balance here, taking that arm out and just stabilizing on the outer edge of the right shin and the top of the left thigh. Whatever makes most sense for you, just take another breath or two. I'll talk less on the second side, I promise. Let's let that go. And step back to down dog. Shake out the right leg or kick through the heel. Shouldn't make those promises. I do a lot of talking. All right, left leg up, open the hip, bend the knee, point the knee to the sky. And then bring the left knee forward. Set yourself up as you did on the first side. Just a reminder. Walking that back leg back using the toes so you're on the back thigh, not just the knee. And give in to this fold here. Come on up, nice and easy. Walk yourself back and let's mirror what we did on the first side for the quad stretch. Letting that go. Back to down dog. Shake out the left leg or kick through the heel. And then we're going to walk halfway forward on our mat so we can come to a seat. And let's take Baddha Konasana here. So bound angle pose, feet together, knees wide, tuck the heels in towards the hips. And lean, lean to get this hip flexor stretch. This is where, again, I remind you, if you have gotten some value from this practice, if you've loved it, if you're feeling good at this point, consider doing a little donation to the class just so I can kind of keep it going. I'm sort of at the point with this channel where I'm feeling like I need to do something to figure out how to make it sustainable, just financially, because I don't really make any money from teaching on YouTube, even though I've been doing it for about 5 years. Just because, my videos don't get a ton of views. It's the main reason. I mean, 100 or something, but so I'm trying to figure out, like, do I need to figure out how to promote the channel a little bit better, push it forward, get more eyes on what's going on here, because I think the people who come here really do get something out of the practices. But the other way would be just to ask the people who do consistently practice with me if they would be willing to contribute a little something to keep the channel going. So kind of two sides of it. Like, I'd love for the channel just to get bigger so that I get more money through like YouTube itself, through AdSense, but right now that's not happening. So, it's gonna have to be one of those things, I think. Although I do love teaching, I probably still won't give it up. So I say that there's obviously clearly no ultimatum that I'm offering you, but it might be something to keep in mind. And if you did want to donate, the way to do that is in the description for the video. I should probably start a Patreon or something, but I've not done that before, and it sounds like it's a little bit of work. I probably could handle it. All right, sorry, let's come up now that I've made that pose so relaxing for you. My apologies. Let's keep the left foot tucked in and take the right one out. Again, I will try to be more silent in our final forward folds here. Angle towards the right leg, flex the foot, engage the quad. Inhale, reach the arms up, and then exhale, lengthen out. Janu Shirshasana. And then coming up nice and easy. Guess what? We're gonna do the other leg. The left leg out. Sole of the right foot tucks in. Angle your body. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold down and enjoy this stretch. All right, and come on up. Okay, all right, I hope you're feeling good. I know I am. I get to do this whole practice with you, so that in many ways is my payment. It's not enough, but that's okay. But I do feel good, and I hope you do too. I hope this practice felt nice to you. Go ahead and shake out your legs. This is the point at which I would recommend Shavasana. So go ahead and come down to your back. I'm going to stay up because I want to close out this practice with you. And if you want to sit for a few minutes with me, please feel free to come back to Sukhasana and maybe hands to knees, or maybe just bring your palms together in front of the heart. If you have come to your back, maybe take a moment bringing your knees into your chest to just give them a hug. Maybe you'd like to roll them around in a circle and then the other way. If a supine twist would feel good, just give yourself that pleasure. Take your time. Take your time coming to stillness. And this is the point where we can really just release the effort. You've put in the effort. This is, the reward, I guess. Not that we need to do, not that we need to earn this reward, but it really is so much more meaningful to take Shavasana after you've practiced, just because of the juxtaposition of the two. So let everything go, let go of your muscles, let go of the effort, let go of your practiced breath, and allow it to just fall in and out naturally, and enjoy a few final minutes in stillness. I'll end from here with you. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining me today and sharing this practice. Namaste. All right, my sweet yogi. Have a great, wonderful night. Let me know if you need anything in the comments below. And I will see you next week. Okay, bye-bye.